So it's July now, and I'm having this sudden urge to try and read 7 books in a week. Why is that? Oh right, because it's Booktube A Thon time, guys. For those of you who don't know, I'm assuming most of you do know, the Booktube A Thon is a week-long event hosted by Ariel Bissett. It's where you try and read a whole bunch of books in 1 week. I will link her video and stuff below, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm just going to show you the books I want to read. The last 2 Booktube-a-thons, I managed to finish all of the challenges, but that's because I was in between jobs, so I wasn't working. Now I'm working and I just moved into a house, so I'm really busy, but I am going to try and read 7 books. I probably won't get to all of these this year. I just get a feeling that I won't. But I feel like if I give myself 2 weeks, I could do it, but probably not 1 week. So yes, here are the books I'm planning on reading in Booktube-a-thon and probably the week after. I feel like if I get 2 weeks, I could totally finish this TBR list. With that said, let's get started. The first challenge for books is to read something with yellow on the cover. For that, I chose The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This book is yellow. And for those of you who don't know, yellow is my favorite color of all time. I've always loved yellow ever since I was a kid, so the fact that I get to read a yellow book makes me very happy. And the fact that it's written by Morgan Matson makes me even happier. Also, this book was on my list for top 10 books I want to read this summer, so that's also a plus. So yes, a book with yellow on the cover. The next challenge is to read a book only after sunset, which basically you have to read this book only at night. And the book I chose for this is a reread. I've read this book before, but I've been wanting to read this book again, and the fact that I have to read it at night makes it even better. And that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I read this book last year and it was just wonderful. It wasn't a very character or plot story, it was more of an atmosphere story. And I feel like reading The Night Circus only at night in the middle of the summer just sounds awesome. So yes, this is my choice for reading books at night. We'll see how that goes because I have to get up really early in the morning, so I can't stay up too late. But hopefully with the weekends I can be up at 3 a.m. reading this, so we'll go with it. The next challenge is to read a book you discovered through Booktube, and for this I'm choosing Explore the Mystery Box. This is a collection of different graphic novelists all writing a story having to do with this box. Each of them have a different story and a different take on it. I've actually read this before, but once again I've been wanting to reread it and see if I can get a taste of different authors and see if I want to expand my graphic novel artists. But yes, this book was recommended to me through Jessie the Reader, so because of Booktube, I have it. The next challenge is to read a book by one of your favorite authors. This challenge is kind of like, okay, I've read a couple of books by this author and I really like them and I want to read more by them. So for this challenge, I'm reading The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Yeah, I'm combining this challenge. This is gonna go for yellow and for an author that is my favorite. She isn't my favorite author, but she's my favorite contemporary author. My favorite author of all time is Brandon Sanderson. I'm more of a fantasy and action person, so contemporaries aren't really my thing. But I found a contemporary author that I seem to love. Like every single one of her books I have not liked. They've been wonderful. I guess she is my favorite contemporary author and I want to read more of her books, so she fits into this challenge. The next challenge is to read a book that is older than you, and for that I've chosen Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I've been wanting to read more Jane Austen. I feel like I read a decent amount of classics. I feel like I read maybe a handful a year or 2 handfuls a year, it kind of depends. But I have not really read much of Jane Austen and I feel like I should, because I think someone in my family, I think it might have been my mom or one of my grandparents, really like Jane Austen. But either way, I want to read more of her books and this is a shorter one and I've heard it's really good, and yeah, it's older than me. It's probably older than you too. 1906. So unless you're exactly 100 years old, this book is older than you. The next challenge is to read a book and watch its adaptation. For this, I'm choosing The Martian. I have read The Martian and I have watched The Martian. I read it last year around October and I watched the movie on my birthday and I loved it. I just love the story. I love the movie, even though I think the book was better. And I want to reread it and I want to watch the movie again. So here we go. I'm reading and watching The Martian again. I'm not obsessive or anything. And the last challenge is the same challenge that it is every year, and that is to read 7 books. I have 6 books on this list, so I picked 2 shorter books to try and boost my reading list thing. The first one is a manga, and it is Nausicaa Valley of the Wind Volume 2. This is written by Hayao Miyazaki, who's done a lot of Studio Ghibli films. I've read the first trade and I just bought the second one, and I'm excited to get back into this world. It's small and I should be able to get through it rather quickly. And the last book I plan on reading is a novella, and it's written by Victoria Schwab, and that is Warm Up. I'm gonna read this on my phone or on my Kindle, whatever works best. This is a novella to the book Vicious, which I have read like twice because it's wonderful. And yeah, I'm excited to see what additional thoughts she has on this world and concept. So yes, these are all of the books that I plan on trying to read during the Booktube A Thon. I will probably have to finish the rest of them the week after because I have a job and I have a life and I'm busy. But it never hurts to try. Always try, even if you feel like you can't make it. That is pretty much all I've got to say. I probably won't be doing the video challenges either. I did the video challenges last year and they still should be up on the channel if you want to check them out. But once again, I don't have time, I don't have space, I just can't do the challenges. That is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great Booktube A Thon, and hopefully I will see you later.